Today's announcement had once again another intersection of over 100 metres of lithium mineralization and once again another 50-metre intersection. So we're actually getting some very wide zones of mineralization and in this area, and it just augurs very well for us to be able to define a really large deposit.
Hello to those tuning in to the Assay TV, where today we're joined by the Managing Director of Azure Minerals, Tony Rovira. Azure Minerals are focused on advancing their multi-commodity opportunity at their Andover project located in Western Australia. Okay, so welcome, Tony. Great to have you on the Assay with us today.
Thanks, Katie. It's a pleasure to be here.
So just to start things, can you give us an introduction to your company and its key projects, please?
Certainly. So we're Azure Minerals. We're ASX listed with the code AZS. We've got one key project at the moment. It's called Andover. It's both a lithium project and a nickel project located in Western Australia. So that's our key focus, and we've recently been putting out some results which are hugely exciting for the lithium potential there.
Great. So you've just mentioned Andover. So on to my next question. Your results this morning. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Some impressive results there.
Certainly. That's the second batch of drill results we've put out in the last week or so. The first batch indicated we had one intersection of over 100 metres at 1.2% lithium and another one of 50 metres of similar sorts of grades. And today's announcement had once again another intersection of over 100 metres of lithium mineralisation and once again another 50-metre intersection. So we're actually getting some very wide zones of mineralisation and in this area, and it just augurs very well for us to be able to define a really large deposit.
And in terms of advancing the projects to the next steps, what are we looking at there? What are the next steps for Andover?
Well, once we found and had identified that the lithium potential in the pegmatite rocks, and that was sort of late last year, early this year, we mobilised 2 diamond drill rigs into site in March, and they've been drilling there all the way through for the last few months. And then also last month we brought 2 RC rigs in, so we've got 4 drill rigs drilling on the project now. But that hasn't satisfied us yet, so we've got 2 more rigs coming in. So another diamond drill rig and another RC drill rig will be coming in within the next week or so. So by the start of July, we'll have 6 drill rigs drilling. We've got about 20 geologists that are now working for us on the project. We're accelerating our exploration absolutely as fast as we can.
And in terms of the broader picture, obviously the company has a strategic objective to identify potential 100 million tonnes of lithium. Can you tell us more about that?
Certainly. Now, I have to be very careful how I express that one because of the ASX rules. So the way that this has been couched is that we saw that there was potential for the Andover project to host lithium mineralisation. So I went to our exploration manager and his team and I said, I'd like you to go to site and report back to me to see if you feel that there is on the Andover project potential for 100 million tonnes or more of lithium mineralisation. So it's not an exploration target, it's not a resource, but that was what I asked them to go and do. So they've come back to me and said that the potential there is absolutely enormous. And so that's hence we've mobilised 6 drill rigs into there, and it's full steam ahead. We obviously won't be having the initial resource coming out for quite a few months, but all the indications are from the results we're seeing to date, and both in terms of assays, but also visually that we can see in the drill core that this is going to be a very big project.
So at the moment, ESG is at the forefront of many mining conversations. And I also know that ESG is a core principle for Azure. Can you talk us through some of the company's ESG practices in terms of how they're conducting the projects, things like that?
Yes, certainly. Well, initially, we've got to realise that we're operating on land that's owned by local Aboriginal people, the traditional owners, the Nalama. And we're operating there at their pleasure with their permission. So from a community and heritage point of view, we have to make sure we do absolutely everything to the highest possible standards. We have developed a very strong relationship with the local traditional owners and the organisation that represents them. And it is foremost in our minds at all times that we work very closely with them to make sure that we don't do anything wrong. So cultural heritage, etc., is very important for us. Obviously, environmental and is as well. It is an area that's well, in fact, all areas are very sensitive environmentally, and we need to make sure that we do everything possible to minimise our surface footprint, our disturbance, our physical disturbance of the area. So we have a lot of environmental surveys that are ongoing at all times. So we do flora surveys, fauna surveys. When the creeks and rivers are running, we're doing aquatic life surveys as well, and and all sorts of other monitoring as well. So from an ESG perspective, we want Azure to be operating at the highest possible standards.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the resources coming eventually. What future milestones can we look out for investor-wise in the coming months?
Well, certainly with 6 drill rigs operating around the clock, we are producing a lot of samples. We will be receiving a lot of results from the laboratory. So a lot of that information will be coming out probably weekly or even more frequently that at times. So assay results and exploration results very strongly are very strong going forward. We're also going to be doing some metallurgical test work that has just commenced. So there will be some information coming out about that over the next 1 to 3 months. And the intention would be at when the time's right that we put out first initially an exploration target, an official exploration target of what we believe the area has the potential to host, and then the resources will be coming out later in the year.
Excellent. It certainly sounds like a big few months coming up for Azure. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Pleasure, Katie. Thank you.